Alright, what's up guys? Frank here with another video, and today I wanted to make a complete guide for niche research for Amazon merch and print on demand. And so if you're new into the print on demand business, or you don't know how to do niche research, or you don't know which design to make, or you don't know which niche to go into, then this video could be for you, okay? So let's go right in. So, from my experience, there are five types of niches, okay? And these five types, they all have pros and cons that I'm going to go through in this video. And so, the idea is that you gain awareness for these five types and you make the best decision for yourself. And from my own experience, I found out that the idea is to have a balance and have a bunch of all of these types because they all have pros and cons. And since they all have pros and cons, you want to balance all of them to make sure that you can compensate the strength of some types with the weakness of the other types. And so the first type that I'm going to talk about is the most easy to understand, which is evergreen niches. And evergreen niches are pretty basic and known themes that usually have consistent demands all the time. And so, for example, a few evergreen niches that you could get into is basically anything related to dog, cats, coffee, fitness, yoga, natures, quotes, adventure, jokes, and etc. And all these basic topics, regardless of what is happening in the world, regardless of what time we are right now, these topics are always going to be relevant and in demand. But the bad thing about these niches is that usually, unless you go into deep unknown niches, the popular niches are usually very saturated. For example, everybody makes designs about dogs, everybody makes designs about cats. And so, since they're very easy to understand and very straightforward, then most people get into these niches, and that makes the marketplaces very, very saturated. And so, for example, if we search cats on Redbubble, which is a very popular evergreen niche, we'll find that there are 1.4 million results on Redbubble, which is a lot. You have to compete against all these people and all these other sellers. But if we find another niche that is more unknown and more hidden, for example, fossils, then we find only 16,000 results on Redbubble. And so it kind of depends on the demand of the niche and how popular it is. But usually these niches get consistent sales. And if you're looking for evergreen niches to go into, usually you can simply go on some website of marketplaces and just look around and you'll see a bunch of ideas, okay? And so for example, I'm on Redbubble and I'm simply going to look around what are people doing, okay? So I'm just going to go into men's clothing and then I can see like this ghost, this raccoon, this shark, this funny quote, another funny quote, a bunch of quotes, dinosaur, monkey. And so those are all some sort of evergreen niche that you could go into. You can also go on Amazon.com. You can go on Amazon and simply look at what people are searching, or you can literally make some sort of search. You can write anything and then you're gonna get some result, okay? And usually the first result are usually the most popular. You can also go on Pinterest and then search for some sort of t-shirt, and then you'll find a bunch of ideas to make designs. Another useful tool is tools like Podly, which basically tells you all the best sellers right now. And so that can help you to find some sort of trending bestseller design or niche that you could go into. And if you're also looking for evergreen niches, you can also go on my website. On my website, I made a list of 250 plus niches, evergreen niches that you could go into, okay? And so all these niches here are usually pretty straightforward niches that you can never go wrong with these, okay? And so if you go into cats, dogs, coffee, maths, science fiction, fashion. Like those are all niches that you can go into, and you can't really go wrong. Okay, and so if you're looking for ideas, I made this list of popular evergreen niches that you can go into and look around. And then the second type of niches that I want to talk about are monthly seasonal niches. And basically, monthly seasonal niches are themes that refer to some sort of occasion or theme or event that happen regularly. And these niches are usually related to some sort of holiday or event that regularly take place on that day or event. And so, for example, on February, there's Valentine's Day that we all understand, and in August, there's often the back to school where the kids go back to school. And in December, there's obviously Christmas, and in October, there's Halloween. And so some days or period of the year have some sort of event, monthly event that always happen. And so now I just showed the most obvious ones, but the idea here is that you understand these niches so that you're able to make designs about these topics. So the cool thing about these niches is that even though the day or the period that the event is happening, it's usually very popular and you're able to make a ton of sell for that specific event. And even though it's just for a short time, the fact that you're uploading designs about a certain event, well, yes, it's going to work for this year, but it's also going to work for the other years to come. Okay. And so, for example, if you upload designs about Christmas this year, then the next year that is going to happen next year, then you'll also able to make designs about this niche. Okay, but it's mostly relevant to Christmas. And so the bad thing about these niches, these monthly event niches, is that you're not able to make money through all the years about one specific niche. If you're looking to make designs and entering these niches, there are a few tools that you can use. And usually these tools involve some sort of calendar where you can see all the holidays and events that are happening soon in the calendar. And so, for example, right now, we are in December of 2023, and we can see that there's Christmas and the New Eve and the New Year that is coming. But if we go back in time, we can also see like different events that are happening, that those are all opportunities to make designs and make money about these events and occasions and holidays. And if you're looking into more specific ideas about this, I also build a list of popular monthly event niches that you can go into, and basically every month you get a few lists of popular events and popular occasions where you could potentially make money in these niches. And then the third type of niches that I want to talk about are trending niches. And trending niches are basically themes and events that are currently happening in the world. And to find trending niches, you basically have to look at what people are doing and the news and what are trending right now. Okay, and so for example, one thing that you could do to find trending niches is look at what people are doing, and you could look at the news. You could look at the headlines. So right now, I was seeing some sort of technology, and I was here is some sort of Windows 11, and you just look at the headlines, and you see here currently what is happening is everything related to Hamas and Israel and everything that is happening. You should not create design about Israel, and you should not create design about war. But the idea here is that you look at what people are looking at, and you look at the news, and you try to reverse engineer some ideas for your print on demand business. And another thing that you could do if you're looking for trending niches is that if you're using Productor for Amazon Merch, then it has a section with the Google Trends, and with Google Trends you can see what people are looking at, and the trending topics that are currently happening. And so right now I see that the gold price is rising, so it's trending. So maybe you could create designs about gold. And I see a bunch of celebrities, and I think you should basically avoid everything related to celebrities, because everything related to trademark and people is kind of a bad thing, and you're kind of playing with fire if you do that. And another thing that I see here in the Google Trends is GTA 6, and I would not recommend creating designs specifically about GTA 6, but maybe you could create design about gaming and video games, because GTA 6 is a video game. You could create designs about video games. Another thing that you could do also is literally go on the site of Google Trends and simply explore the website and see if you can find some topics about some sort of niche. And you simply explore the website and you try to see what is trending right now, and if you could make some designs about these things. So the cool thing about trending niches is that if you find the right topic and the right design at the right time, there's a, then there's an opportunity for you to make a lot of money, because usually trending niches are currently not very popular, but right now they're getting popular. And so usually sometimes these niches might not have that many designs, but now that the niche is trending, then it's an opportunity to make a lot of money. And that's basically what happened in my case when I started my Amazon Merch account in 2020. In 2020, there was a trend related to Bitcoin, and I was kind of into Bitcoin at that moment, and I decided to make designs about it. And it kind of grew up and popped off, and I was able to make tons of sale in the beginning of my Amazon merch journey. So I was able to get out of the lower tiers. But the bad thing with trending niches is that it's kind of risky and it's kind of very volatile. And so, yes, there's a possibility that you might make a lot of money, but maybe in a few days, in a few weeks, and maybe in a few months, the niche is going to die completely. So when you do trending niches, there's always a degree of ingenuity and a degree of research, so that you look at what is trending right now and you try to reverse engineer to make designs about these topics. But by doing that, you don't really know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. It could work super well or it could not work at all, because the niche can die at any moment. And so in my case with the Bitcoin, I think the trend was about a few months. So in a few months I was able to make a few sales to get out of my lower tiers, and then the trend completely died. Okay. So trending niche are usually a very short-term strategy, but I don't think they're a very long-term strategy. So the next type of niche that I wanted to talk about are major event niches. And basically, major event niches are basically themes or events that are related to some sort of major thing happening in the world. And the main difference between major events and monthly seasonal events that I talked a little bit earlier is that the major events are much more rare. And so they happen only once, or maybe they happen only every few years. And so, two examples that I have right now is the presidential elections that basically happen every 4 years, and also another example that I'm thinking about is everything related to Olympic that happen 2 or 4 years, depending if it's the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics. So right now, I just Googled a bunch of major events that are going to happen in 2024. And so here you can see that there's the Paris Olympic Games, that it's basically Summer Olympics that are going to happen in 2024. There's also some sort of European football games that is going to happen. So here I can see the election for the year 2024 that is happening this next year that is happening. So you see presidential election happens only every 4 years. So for me, that's a pretty major event that you can prepare for. And then I can see here that there's also a solar eclipse that is happening soon. So that's also another thing that you can prepare for. There's the Paris Olympic, just like I talked about. Some sort of TV shows, but now that I think about it, everything related to Olympics and TV shows and everything related to politics about the elections that I was talking about, you should be very careful about trademarks to make sure that you're not infringing any trademarks, because the Olympics is some sort of company, if that makes sense, and you cannot use their logos and you cannot use the name Olympics. You can make designs about the sports, the different sports in the Olympics, but you cannot make designs about the Olympics themselves. And it's kind of the same thing with TV shows. You should avoid everything related to quotes inside the TV shows. You should avoid any trademark. I see here like Daredevil. You cannot use Daredevil. You cannot use Marvel. But the idea here is that you could try to create designs about TV shows. So the idea with these major events is that you can prepare for them so that you're able to make money from them. Like trending niches, you can't really prepare for them because the trending niches are happening right now. But all these major events, you can prepare for them in advance if you prepare properly so that you can optimize the work that you do for these upcoming events. The bad thing about the major events is that since they're so rare, like if you're not preparing properly and if you're not able to monetize these events properly, then you're kind of wasting your time, okay? And so, for example, if you decide to make designs about the presidential elections that only happens once every 4 years and you're not able to monetize that much, then you're kind of wasting your time, okay? And so, if you decide to prepare for these kind of events, you gotta make sure that you're doing it so that you get something out of them, okay? Another thing is that you should also be careful with the trademarks. The fifth and last type of niche that I wanted to talk about is cross niches. And cross niches are basically the combination of multiple niches into one design. Instead of focusing on one niche, you can focus on two or even three niche in one design. The cool thing about these kind of design is that you're able to tap into very unique and not very used niches. And by doing that, you also create an unlimited amount of possibilities with your niche. Because, for example, here I have a list of 250 popular evergreen niches. Well, what you can do is simply decide to mix the niche of dogs with the niche of cats. And you can decide to mix the niche of meditation with coffee. You can decide to do those things. And so you're basically creating an unlimited amount of niches and designs. But the problem with the cross niches is that the target audience is much more smaller because the design is much more specific. Because, for example, if you decide to create a design about dogs and also about cats by creating a cross niche about these two niches, then some people that love dogs might not love cats. And people that love cats might not necessarily love dogs. And so the people that are going to buy your designs from this cross niche is much smaller because the person and the audience has to love dogs and also cats. So that's something to keep in mind. And so here I have a design. It's not mine, but it is actually a bestseller right now. And the design says, I like weed, my cat, and maybe three people. Okay, so basically, this person, this designer that created this, decided to cross the niche of weed and also cross the niche of cats. So by combining these two niches, he creates something unique. Now there's a cat playing with weed. Now I have to say that I don't recommend using the weed niche. Everything related to drugs and alcohol, I would not necessarily recommend that because now you're kind of playing with fire and those are sensible topics, so I would not necessarily recommend those. But if you feel comfortable trying these sort of niches, that's something that you could try. But what I'm wanting to illustrate here is the fact that this person crossed the niche of weed and cats to combine something unique. And in this case, weed and cats are both evergreen niches. And so here I have another design, another product about a German Shepherd dog with Christmas. So in this case, this seller and this designer decided to cross the niche of dog and not just dog. It is a German Shepherd dog, okay? It's not just any dog, it's a German Shepherd dog and he crossed the niche of Christmas. So the people that are going to buy this are people that are interested in Christmas and also in German Shepherd dogs. So in this case, this person used the evergreen niche of dog combined with the monthly event Christmas niche. And here I have my last example, and in this example I have a design that says if you think your sport is hard, try doing it while holding your breath. And this is basically a design about swimming. And when you first think about this is quite a normal design that only has one niche. But in actuality, with the Summer Olympics that are coming, well, this design could become more relevant. And this design is actually a bestseller right now, but with the Olympics that are coming, which is a major event related to sports, then this design and this product might become even more relevant. All right, so that's pretty much it about my guide about niche research. And the type of niche that I find are evergreen niches, monthly, seasonal niches, trending niches, major event niches, and finally cross niches. And I think ideally, if you're into the print on demand business, you should try to combine these different types of niches because each type have their own strengths and weaknesses, and while other ones also have different strengths and weaknesses. So, in order to balance your business and to balance your print on demand venture, I would recommend you to combine and balance between all of these different niches. And so again, if you're looking for ideas, different niches, you can go on my website. Here you'll find 250 plus popular evergreen niches, and these niches are you'll find something in it, I'm pretty sure. And I also have another list with 50 plus popular monthly event niches related to the monthly events that I talked about. So those events can also give you a bunch of ideas. And so I hope that this video was helpful to you, and let me know if you have any question, okay? Peace.